Witamy już bardzo oficjalnie osobę, która dla psychologii społecznej na świecie zrobiła tyle, że nie trzeba o tym dzisiaj mówić. Witamy z ogromnym podziwem i wielką pokorą pana profesora Philipa Zimbardo, który zechciał dzisiaj odwiedzić Filomatę. Panie profesorze, serdecznie witamy. To dla nas wielki dzień i wielkie święto. Zapraszamy tu do nas. Wśród naszych gości na sali są nasi uczniowie ze wszystkich szkół Filomaty, są nasi nauczyciele, są rodzice naszych uczniów, są również uczniowie z innych szkół, Gliwic, Knurowa, ich nauczyciele, opiekunowie. Wszystkich Państwa bardzo, bardzo serdecznie witamy. Cieszymy się, że możecie być dzisiaj razem z nami. Ja w tej chwili przekażę mikrofon panu profesorowi, który najważniejszą częścią naszego dzisiejszego spotkania są te słowa, które pan profesor zaadresuje bezpośrednio do nas.
First, I want to thank the children for that wonderful song. It was moved my heart, and for the teacher who wrote it and translated it. It's a wonderful song. I will make it in many languages, so children will sing it in Hungary, children will sing it in Sicily, where my family comes from, and so we will give you credit for spreading the hero song around the world. So this is a dream for me to be here with you. Many years ago, maybe 6 or 7 years ago, I decided to stop doing research on evil. And I decided to start doing research on ordinary, everyday heroism. As a psychologist, I tried to study evil to understand how good people could turn to do evil things in many nations in the world. When I was a child, my family and I grew up in poverty. We were very poor. We only could live with food stamps from the government, and we lived in a ghetto in New York City. If you grew up in a ghetto in any city in the world, there are men whose job it is to get good boys and good girls to do things evil for money, the things that are criminal. They get you to take drugs, to sell drugs, to steal, to sell your body, and you do it in order to get money. If you grow up rich, your parents give you money to do chores. Some of my friends, who I knew were good people, got tempted by the evil. And some of them even went to jail. Me and some other friends resisted and have led a good life. But I always wondered as a little child, what was the difference? What made them give into temptation and go the evil side, and what enabled me and other friends to go to the good side? In my little mind, as a 7, 8-year-old child, my answer was two things. The children who went to the good side always had a mother who was loving, caring, and had a strong morality to say, this is bad, but this is good. And the second thing I think influenced me and my friends who were at the good side, we had teachers who loved us. We had teachers who gave everything they could to help poor children be successful. But most of all, they made us love learning, love education, love ideas, love being creative. And so I became my whole life a teacher, teaching young people in special ways, and ideally now teaching something totally new, how to be a hero, everyday hero. So I developed in San Francisco a foundation, and I worked with colleagues in education to develop a revolutionary new way of teaching. Okay? The revolutionary new way of teaching was built around social psychology ideas, and then always included videos. Children like you live in a visual world. You're on YouTube, you're Facebook, you watch movies. In our generation, we didn't have access to internet. So I want all of my education to stimulate young people's mind by showing interesting videos. And then the lecture is, what were the people in the video thinking? Why didn't they do better? What were they doing? What would you do? So now we developed these 6 lessons in social psychology. One of them, for example, is how do we get people who are passive bystanders? There's an emergency, most people do nothing. How do we get them to be active heroes? So this is one of 6 lessons. I mean, we will be developing more. So I gave a lecture a few years ago in Katowice, and about my journey from creating evil to now inspiring heroism. And one of the people there was a young professor, Dr. Agnieszka Wilczynska, said, you know, your ideas, she said, I would like to organize trainers to bring your ideas to Poland. And I said, right on. And then on the same trip, I got invited, after I left Poland, to go to Budapest. And people in Budapest are really unusual. They think of themselves as cousins to Polish people, but they are not really. They are all depressed. No one smiles. Everyone is pessimistic. Everyone lives in a negative past. But they have, in the center of town, a huge square honoring heroes. Old heroes. Heroes from 1850. And what they say is, we like your idea about heroes, but in Hungary, the word hero is negative. To be a hero is to be stupid. I said, why? Because in 1956, the Hungarians were the only Eastern European country to revolt against the Soviets. And the Soviets crushed them, killed all the young people, tortured them, put them in prison. So the older generation says, to be a hero, you die. To be a hero is stupid. So I said, we are not creating military heroes. We are not creating war heroes. We are creating everyday heroes. Starting with young people who every day do a deed of caring, of kindness, to work in teams, make their family better, make their school better, make their community better, and together they make Hungary better. So I said, I will train as many of you as wish in our hero program lessons. And it worked beautifully. Now, 2 years later, I'm going back after this to Budapest. 2 years later, they have our program in 1,000 high schools. And now they only have high school. They don't have, you are unusual in the world. You have primary school, you have middle school. But they love the program, they're spreading it all over. And then they said, how do we get young people interested? Easy. You have a rock concert. You have rock bands come and play. And in between the bands, we tell the audience our hero project, what it is, we want volunteers. 6,000 people came to Budapest Park for all-day rock concert all night. And of those, hundreds came up and said, we want to volunteer. So now in Hungary we have a huge program. Many, many volunteers, young and old. Our program is spreading all over. So for me, it's really, really exciting. But they only have 2 of our programs. In Poland, Agnieszka has all 6. So we started with bystander. Next lesson will be on prejudice, how to reduce prejudice, and then we expand even more. So I met yesterday with the Polish Minister of Education, Joanna, and I told her about our program. I told her about Hungary, and I said, our program now is in 55 different Polish schools. She said, we have 39,000 Polish schools, and she will approve our program for all Polish schools. So for me, that's really exciting. So I'm happy that this idea I had some years ago has gone across the Atlantic, will spread all over Poland, all over Hungary. But I'm most happy because my family is Sicilian. We come from a small town in the mountains of Sicily. And now we introduce our program in a town called Corleone, which if you saw The Godfather, it's the town of The Godfather. And so our program is in maybe 10 high schools in Corleone. And again, the teachers love it, the students love it. And I'm trying to get money to spread it now all over Sicily. And that would make my heart feel really good. But I'm just going to say 2 more things, and then I want to have questions and answers from you. So again, your program here at your school is the only one in the world was using our ideas in primary school, in middle school, maybe kindergarten, maybe, as well as high school. Every other place it's only high school, and in America, many places only in college. So yours is the full range. And so we are looking to you to see what is your success, what lessons that you learned that we can now tell people in every country in the world. Look what they're doing in Levice at Filomacie school. And so your school will be a model for me to use. You're going to give me the videos I saw this morning about helping and caring. And I will spread the word of your school all over the world. The main reason I'm in Poland, aside from visiting you, is that I just published a book in Poland and in the UK, which is not in America. And it's a book about how young men, young boys and young men, are beginning to escape from the world of people into the virtual world of the Internet, living much of their life on the Internet. And the book is called Where Have All the Good Men Gone? How do you say it in Polish?
Gdzie się podzieli ci mężczyźni?
And so I am concerned. I started studying this problem I gave a talk at TED. Some of you look at TED, called On the Demise of Guys. Why guys are failing while women are rising. So women are doing better than ever in history, and men are doing worse. They are dropping out of school in America, getting bad grades. And the reason is they are spending their life getting addicted to playing video games. Some play 5 hours a day, some play 6, some play 10. Many boys in America, and now I found out in UK, I just came from London, spend as much as 15 hours a day playing video games. If you're spending 15 hours a day playing video games, you're going to be very good. Maybe you end up being a rock star at video games. But what are all the things you're not doing? You're not reading, you're not writing, you're not creating, you're not playing sports, you're not talking to friends, you're not talking to girls, you're not going out, you're not dancing, you're not playing sports, you're not going on a job, and you're doing terrible in school. So this combination is new. It's never happened in history. Being addicted to both video games and free online pornography is a killer for me. It's a killer because all these young men are being taken out of life, going to another world, as if we put them on a shuttle to the Mars, so it's a shuttle to video gaming. So I'm going everywhere to say, I'm ringing a bell. Alarm, alarm, something bad is happening to our young men, and we need to help them. So in the end of the book, I have solutions. What does the government should do? What should teachers do? What should parents do? What should girls do to help young men? What should men do to help young men? One of the big problems that I identify is that many young boys, many young men are growing up with no father. In America, if your mother is 30 years old and she's single, 50% of all boys have no father. In general, in all of America, 40% of boys have no father, physically present. And I have a lot of statistics that boys need a father as a role model to motivate them to work. Mothers give love unconditionally. Mothers say, I love you, whether you do good or bad. You're my baby. Fathers say, no. You got to perform. You got to get good grades. You have to make the team. Otherwise, I pull the plug on your video game. And so boys have lost that. In Poland, it's less. Only 25% of all Polish boys grow up without a father. But that number is going up. And 25% of all Polish people is many millions of young Polish boys growing up without a father. So we say, other men, your uncle, your cousin, your relatives, your friends, should be your mentor, should work with you, play with you on weekends, teach you what it means to be a male in the new way. The old traditional view of male is wrong. Be a warrior, be a breadwinner, be tough, don't cry. So we're developing new models of what it means to be a man, what it means to be a woman, what does it mean to be a couple, a man and a woman working together, sharing in an equal level of rights and privileges. So tonight, I will be on TEDx in Rawa River, talking about this in more detail. But yesterday, I was in the National Stadium in Warsaw, being interviewed by a beautiful Monica, I guess,
Monika Richardson.
you know her.
Yeah.
And the interview was nice, but 5,000 people were there in the stands to listen. And then at the end, hundreds came up to take a selfie, to make a sign, and it was wonderful. I never had that experience in my life. So I'm looking forward to tonight. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. And before I ask questions, I want to introduce my right arm in Poland, Agnieszka Wilczynska.